Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Redhead Boo here, back with a new video. So, was it last week? Well, yeah, technically, yes it was. Last week. Well, this week. Last week it was. I went to see Jack and the Beanstalk pantomime at the Grove Theatre in Dunstable with Jade. And obviously, if you've known me for a while, you will know my admiration for Union J, especially Jamie Hensley, and he was part of the cast of Jack and the Beanstalk, obviously being from that local area, and I decided that I wanted to go and see him in Panto, so we did, and the show was absolutely amazing. And I thought today, since I like to do a few reviews on like theatre shows I've seen, I would do a review for Jack and the Beanstalk. So I have a few different like little topics that I'll talk about, and I will say this now, I am going to be very honest at times, and I just hope I do not offend anyone if any of the cast do watch this video. Yeah, I just want to say a massive shout out to all of the cast, all of the crew, because it was such a good pantomime, and I definitely think I'll probably go again at some point if I can. And yeah, such a lovely theatre as well. So yeah, very good show. So I will begin my review now. Okay, so the first topic that I am going to be reviewing is the cast. So, playing Flesh Creep, we had Steve McFadden, otherwise known as Phil Mitchell from EastEnders, and I'm going to admit this now, I've never really watched EastEnders. Obviously, like, I knew who Phil Mitchell was, and I knew he was a villain, and obviously he was a villain in the pantomime as well. I found him very funny, like a lot funnier than I thought he was gonna be. Not gonna lie, not the best answer, but he gave it a good go, and I found a lot of his jokes and obviously the stereotypical villain of the show, like whenever I go to a pantomime, obviously you love the hero, you love like the princesses or whatever, but for me, I love a villain. I do. I'll say it now. I love a villain. And it's just great because all the kids are booing and hissing. And then when you have someone like him, who's obviously well known for being a bad person, it's sort of nice to see them in a very similar role to what they're like as their character. So yeah, I really liked what he did as his character, and oh my god, I shouldn't say this now. No, I'm not going to say it yet, but further along the line you'll know what I'm on about. Then obviously, as Jack, you had Jamie as the lead role, and when I saw he was the lead role, I was so proud, and I was like, I definitely have to go. And as always, he absolutely smashed it. Like, I knew he was going to be good. I knew that. But he even exceeded expectations for me. Like, his singing, of course, like that's what he's known for. His incredible voice and stage presence never fails to impress me. He can dance as well. Like, I always thought he would be able to dance, but watching some of the dances he had to do, I was very impressed, very impressed. He can rap as well. That was a surprise, wasn't expecting that. And obviously he can act. So yeah, like, there is nothing that Jamie can't do, and I am and was so proud of him. And yeah, obviously I do feel like he was my favourite character in the whole cast, of course. And then playing Dame Trot, we had Will Kenning, who I believe is in it every year, I think. And he was just so funny. Like, the typical pantomime dame is always one of the best characters, and it's just tradition with a pantomime to have a dame and have them interact with the rest of the characters, have like the not the rude jokes, but obviously like it's more aimed at the adults, I think, with dames, and I love it. I just think it's like pantomime traditions are and have always been classic, funny, slapstick comedy, like slapstick routines. You've just got to love them, and I think I always will. Like, even though I'm 26, I'll never stop going to a pantomime for sure. And then we had Billy, who was Jack's brother, and he was played by Oliver Scott, and Oliver was so funny. Like, his facial expressions, the like on stage, what's the word? Not relationship. Like, they bounced off out like the characters, especially in scenes where they were all together with like Jack, Jess, the dame, things like that. Like, they just bounced off each other, and it was really, really good. He can sing. He was amazing, and I absolutely loved Oliver's character. I really did. Then we had Jess, who was played by Georgina Hutton. She had an incredible voice, like singing, like unreal, so good. And yeah, I just think it's nice to see like a strong female character in a show like that, because usually in Jack and the Beanstalk, the female character isn't always the strongest, but I felt like this time round she was portrayed more as like a strong, independent woman, and I loved that. So yeah, well done Grove Theatre for doing something right, thank you. And then as the fairy, we had Nikita. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, so I don't think I'm gonna try, but again, she has an incredible voice. I do think this is one negative, not negative about her, it was more, I feel like the music sometimes drowned out the singing. And I feel like next time I hope the music's a bit quieter, because yeah, it was good, but I feel like that sort of lost quite a few of the vocal moments from like certain aspects of the show and the songs, so yeah. And then we had Jasper, who was Colin the dog, and oh my god, when I found out that they had a real dog in it, I was just like, the reaction as soon as the dog came on stage, he was so cute, so clever, and he didn't seem fazed by like the fact that there was an audience, especially since it was one of the audiences where there were like tons of school kids who were screaming. So yeah, he didn't seem fazed by it, and we did get to see him at the stage door, and he was very cute. And then you had the ensemble, who I thought were incredible. They were so talented, they were always in time, and the ensemble's always really good. And I should know because I've been part of an ensemble before and I wasn't the best, so I definitely think that the team and the whole cast in this pantomime were 5-star plus. They were incredible. So the set of the show, in comparison to like other pantomimes that I've seen, was quite simple, I want to say. The prop use was good, like during the dog scene you had like the little tricks and things, you had the weather machine, which was very funny. But I'll say this now, because when I booked tickets we got side stalls on the right, but I booked seats 1 and 2, and if there was a scene, I think it was the scene, oh gosh, which one was it? Where they were testing out the weather machine, and Dame Trot, Jack and Billy. Jack and Billy were on like the side of the stage I could see, but the funny parts that were happening on the right hand side of the stage, or was it left? Well, it'd be the other way around, but yeah, I couldn't actually see what was going on, so I didn't really know what everyone was laughing about. So I definitely think bear that in mind if you've booked them tickets, because it is a restricted view. Like, they were cheap, so I'm not complaining, but at the same time it did get a bit frustrating that I couldn't really see much. If anything happened like right at the back of the stage, I sort of had to like lean around to see if I could see what was going on and what people were reacting to. But yeah, like, I do think next time if I go, I will try and get stalls, because I just don't want to ever miss out again. So yeah, but it was good. The set was quite simple, I'll say it now. They did have a lot of, like, I'll say this now, I liked what they did with the Beanstalk, but in comparison to like other Jack and the Beanstalk pantomimes I've seen, it did seem a bit, I don't know if I should say this, the budget didn't seem to be much, but I don't know if that's because obviously it is a smaller theatre, and I do feel like when it's a smaller theatre you're sort of at a bit of a disadvantage, because maybe you can't have a lot of a set, or because obviously the stage itself was quite big, so I feel like maybe they could have done a bit more and had a bit more props, a bit more set, but for what they had it was still good, and it didn't sort of take away from any aspect of the pantomime itself. So yeah, I do think it was good, but I do feel like maybe there could have been a few improvements, but other than that, loved it. So this is part of the review that I am going to be more, what's the word, critical about, I want to say. But based on what I said last time, with the fact that it was a small theatre, I do feel like there weren't that many special effects, and there wasn't much pyro, which, I mean, they had a fair bit with obviously like the fairy. I was sort of expecting a bit more pyro, especially with Flesh Creep, so with Steve McFadden's character. I feel like maybe they could have done a bit more like smoke or something like that, or I don't know, just some sort of pyro would have been nice. There was quite a few bits of pyro in like the songs, and smoke machine in the boy band scene, which I loved. So yeah, I do feel like they could have done a bit more with that, and I really liked what they did with the giant. I thought that was really cool, like the movement of the giant was very, very good. And because in most times that I've seen Jack and the Beanstalk, there has been a giant, but it didn't really move, like, because it was a full giant with like obviously a body, a head and things like that. I really liked that aspect. And I do like what they did with the Beanstalk. I don't know why I forgot the word of Beanstalk then, but I really enjoyed what they did with that. And yeah, I do sort of wish, but I feel like because they didn't really have the orchestra pit, then because ones I've seen before have risen from the orchestra pit and then like up onto the stage, but because obviously it was a smaller theatre, they couldn't do that, which I do feel like maybe the special effects could have been a bit better. I do really love it when pantomimes have like a 3D sequence, but I just don't think maybe it wouldn't have worked because of obviously, again, it is a smaller theatre, so the budgeting and things, but hopefully for like next year, then if they decide to, well, obviously they're doing Beauty and the Beast, I would like to see a bit more special effects because it would be nice, because I think because I'm quite used to seeing like pantomimes that have the bigger, what's the word? Maybe it is to do with budgets, I don't know. Because like when I was little, till like 2021, I want to say, I always went to see the pantomime where I'm from, and it's always like 10 out of 10 there, like the special effects, 3D, the sets, the props, like everything is just off the scale, like you never know what to expect. But again, like I didn't really know what to expect with this pantomime. Don't get me wrong, like I may have not really enjoyed the special effects that much, but there might have been stuff that I missed because of where I was sat, so maybe it's my own fault, I don't know. But yeah, so sorry if this section was a bit negative, but I did still enjoy the show, so that didn't really stop me from having fun. Okay, so the costumes in the pantomime, like pantomime costumes are always just so bright, so colourful, very traditional, and I absolutely loved the costumes in this show. Like Jamie's costume, which I managed to get a photo of him in with me, if that makes sense, was incredible, so colourful, really suited him. I have to admit, he really suited it, and I feel like him with the long hair did sort of like add to the character as well. Who else was yeah. Flesh Creep's costume, so Steve, I don't know why I'm calling him Flesh Creep still, his costume was so good. I really liked then they put something on his face, like the makeup he had on his face actually really suited him, so yeah, I really liked that. But one of the costumes which really made me laugh was he called Helga at this point, when he was buying the cow, which was so funny. He was in a dress, makeup and a wig, and my god, as soon as I saw him in that, I lost it. I was laughing, I was crying with laughter. It was just hilarious. I was like, oh my god, that is just so funny. And I remember saying that to Jamie and him telling me that he had exactly the same reaction when he saw it in rehearsals. And I just don't get how any of the cast managed to keep a straight face during that scene, because it was hilarious, hysterical. I also really liked the costumes that the Dame wore, like the baked beans one, Wonder Woman, dog trainer, like Dame costumes are always just like above and beyond what you expect. Like, they're always crazy, and they always just make the Dame's character so much better, in my opinion, and a lot funnier. Like, when you have a really abstract costume, it just adds to it and adds to the fun of pantomime as well. So yeah, I really liked all the other costumes, but one in particular that I really liked that the whole cast wore was during the finale of the show. All of like the purple, I just loved it. I thought the costumes were just so good. And also the costumes during the boy band scene with all white. Like, I was shocked when I saw them. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. But yeah, like the costumes were just amazing. And costumes for pantomime are just so magical, and everything about it is just magical. So yeah. Okay, so the penultimate little topic that I will be reviewing is, of course, the music, the songs, because pantomimes have just got classic songs that are either rewritten to suit a scenario or the pantomime itself, which they did do this year. And I couldn't believe the song that they chose, which is a song that I have heard Jamie do so many times this year, but I am not complaining because his voice suits it so well. And it was Proud Mary, so like Rolling on a River, if that's what you call it. Um, but the lyrics were changed to like Vibing on the Beanstalk, and I loved it. I thought that was the perfect song to do like the bows to, and because it was just so much fun. And obviously it's a big song, so like all of the audience are guaranteed to know it. And yeah, just it was incredible. So good. And obviously Jamie singing it again was just heaven. Really was. And the song that really actually surprised me in the panto wasn't one by Jamie. I know, what's going on? It was actually sung by Steve McFadden, and my reaction when he started doing it, I was shocked because it was Mr. Brightside but by the Killers, but instead of being called Mr. Brightside, it was Mr. Darkside, and they changed the lyrics completely to like match his character, and I was just loving it. I was literally singing like the original song, but still absolutely loving his performance. And I think for me, that was probably one of my highlights of the panto. Like, I never thought I would ever see Phil Mitchell singing Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Like, it was so good. So good. But I will say this now. My favourite song, I still can't believe that he did it. I I still can't believe it. So, bit of a backstory here. So for Panto, obviously, I went to support Jamie, obviously. And I had absolutely no idea what songs he would be singing. No idea. And I just still can't believe he actually did it. Like, blows me away. But I was just expecting like pop songs, so nothing too big. So at stage door, we got told to go out in the interval and see him and get photos, which we did. And it was incredible to just have a catch up and things. And one thing that I got told that just blows my mind, it really does, was that in the second half of the show, he would be singing a Disney song, to which I was shocked because I wasn't expecting a Disney song, and definitely not the one he actually sang, which was absolute heaven for me to see one of my favourite people singing a Disney song, and I got told to prepare for it. Like, I am so glad he told me. So, because I still freaked out, but not as much as I would have done if he hadn't have said anything, because it was a big shock to me that he would actually be doing it. And the one that he did was Out There from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and when I say I very nearly cried, I mean every single word. I was so emotional, and Jade literally told me that I looked like I was in absolute awe of him, because he honestly sounded incredible. Like, out of all of the songs that I've seen him done this year, that one was by far my favourite performance of the whole year. Hands down. It was stunning. If I could have filmed it, I would have done, because I need to relive that. So Jamie, if you are watching, please, for your show in May, if you do a Disney medley, please put that song in the show again, because it was insane. Absolutely insane. I will never, ever, ever forget that performance. Like, it will live in my head forever. And yeah, just his voice, his talent, like, hands down, insane. And the whole music, the whole singing, the whole cast, like, there wasn't one bad singer. Even Phil Mitchell can sing. Like, that surprised me. He actually can sing. I was shocked. But yeah, the music in this pantomime by far exceeded the expectations of, like, everything. Like, it just made the pantomime so much better for me, because it is always about music. To someone like me it is, and I loved it. So yeah, big thumbs up to the music. So finally, we are on to the last little bit that I'll be reviewing, and this is going to be a little roundup of what I loved about the show. And yeah, so I think what I loved most about the show is obviously the music, as I just said previously. The cast, they were all phenomenal. But I just really, really, really loved, like, the classic slapstick comedy with the dogs in the jokes, the use of the water pistols. Like, you can't go to a pantomime and not expect to get involved, get absolutely soaked like I did, because I feel like I got targeted. But yeah, it was so much fun. And as I've said before, pantomimes to me are just what Christmas is all about, and it really put me in a festive mood. Like, because before pantomimes and going to see the one this year, I wasn't really feeling super festive, but after seeing the pantomime, just got me in a festive mood. Like, it made me want to listen to Christmas music more and other things, and I just absolutely loved the pantomime itself. Like, it was just everything. And I definitely feel like, hopefully, fingers crossed, Jamie does it next year, because if he does, and it's Beauty and the Beast, so if he does, I will 100% be going. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, I will be there. And yeah, I am just so, so, so proud. And I know I've said this a lot, but I do feel very proud of Jamie and all that he has achieved this year and all that he's going to achieve next year with his show. And just, yeah, like, what a year it has been, because this, well, this is going to be my, is it going to be the last video? Maybe it is. Yeah. This is the last video of this year. 2023 is over next week. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yes, so next week there will not be a video because obviously it's Christmas. So all I want to say to all of my subscribers and anyone who checks out this video is just a massive, massive thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone, for supporting me, for watching my videos, for interacting with them, telling me what you all thought. And yeah, I just hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe, turn on the bell, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. But I have got so much coming up next year that I'm so excited for, and there'll be lots of exciting content coming up on my channel, so look out for that. But for now, this is Redhead Boo signing off. Bye!